What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. KB. It is 4:30 on October 2nd, 2016. So it's 3 in a row. It's kind of a habit now going on if you're a Niners fan. Can't catch a break. The game started off well enough. They scored 14 really quick. I mean, not quick, but I mean, they scored 14. It was consistent. One in the first, one in the second. Dallas responded with 14 in the second quarter. Some of those were off of no calls, but I mean, those are just the breaks. We didn't get a call on a hold, on a defensive hold, that led to a punt, and we also got a call on receiver Trot. Was it Trot? No, it was a cornerback Trot. When he clipped Dak Prescott from the back, and that was an automatic first down, even though I think that call was bullshit. But I mean, that's just what happens in the NFL. That's just how everything runs around, and that's just how things go. That's just how it is, unfortunately. But if you look at it, it was 14-14 and a half. If you go in second half, it's 0-0. I mean, that's just the way you have to look at it. It's 0-0 at the half. Dallas outscored us 10-3 in the second half. And therein lies going to be my problem. Look, people have been saying, "Oh, we gotta put Kaepernick back." Kaepernick's not going to help this team. I understand that he had a great 10-game run in 2012 or 2013 or whenever it is that he had that fantastic half season leading up to the Super Bowl or whatnot. He's not going to help. He's not going to help. He's not a good quarterback. Anybody who has not seen this man play in the last 2 seasons before getting replaced, he's not a good quarterback. He can't read defenses. He can't make adjustments. He can't. I still believe Blaine Gabbert is more prepared game time than Kaepernick has ever been. What bugs me about this, it's just that the front office that the Niners have is just completely and fucking useless. Just utterly fucking useless. We need receivers. We need speed receivers. We need a speed receiver. Don't draft one. Don't pick one up in free agency. Don't even try to see where we can actually get somebody who can run a 4-3 or a 4-4. Most of our receivers probably run 4-5, 4-6. They're possession receivers. Now, the one surprise that I did see is Jeremy Curley. Dude was on point today. He had 6 receptions for 88 yards. He averaged about 15, which I believe in the first 4 games the Niners have played, that is going to be pretty high for somebody. Well, Selleck actually had 15.8 per yards as a tight end. So Selleck, I kind of expect that from, especially tight end in the Niners. You know, they've always been a feature tight end type of team. But as far as receivers go, Jeremy Curley right now seems to be like the little key part. If he and Gabbert can get in the same page, and then you got Hyde in the back, I see a little potential for not something great, but something we can be proud of. And I saw little bits of that. I'm not going to blame the boys at all. I'm not going to blame our defense. I'm not going to blame our offense. I'm not going to blame any of that because they're all heart. They're all heart. Like, there's nothing that they're doing that they can do that can prepare you for the lack of coaching that's obviously going into this. Chip Kelly is a bad coach. I don't know what the fuck the front office was thinking to hire a man who couldn't even finish the season with the previous team he was coaching. And they hired him. They basically hired a loser. They hired a loser to come here and try to help a losing team. That doesn't make any sense. If you had no intent in upgrading the coaching system, why didn't you just leave Tom Sula there? Give that man one more full season, you know, where he is the man going into the second season. We didn't need a loser coach coming from a losing season who got fired before finishing his last assignment at his previous team, by which that team is winning with the rookie. So whatever validation you want to say for Chip Kelly, the man is useless at the pro level. In college, yes, he could be very good, even a very ingenious coach in college. When you have 70 guys that you can rotate in and out during the season, different game in the pros, and he's learning that now. But I don't know how the front office goes, Who can we get to turn around this losing team and coach them to victory? Oh, I get it. The guy who got fired for being terrible at his last fucking job. Let's hire that guy. Let's hire Chip Kelly. The boys tried, man. They always try. I see nothing but heart. I mean, Gabbert is not... Again, he's a smart guy. I like Gabbert. I personally do like Gabbert. He reminds me of Alex Smith, and I liked Alex Smith. I thought he couldn't play worth a damn for a bit, but then you kind of realize when they brought Harbaugh in, it's not necessarily the player. It's the coaches. The players can only go so far. There are very few natural, talented people at that level, and I don't care if you have Peyton Manning in his prime or Tom Brady. Tom Brady's still fucking good, too. But you throw both of those players in their prime into the system that we currently have here in San Francisco, they wouldn't succeed. They wouldn't be Tom Brady. They wouldn't be Peyton Manning. They just wouldn't be. Because coaching takes you far. Harbaugh showed that. But no, he was too crazy. He was too disrespectful. He didn't bow down to the egos that is our man-child owner and bitch-ass GM. So they had to get rid of him. Because winning is secondary. Kissing the boss's ass and his friend is first. Apparently in the front office, that's the way it has to go. And guess where that shit's translating? On the field. We got guys out here, man, putting their bodies, their physicalities on the line here. Repping the red and gold. Repping it hard. Trying to do the best that they can. And it's all for nothing. All that effort is wasted. Because you got useless people up top who hire useless people to lead these men. And I use the word lead very loosely here. Because Chip Kelly couldn't lead anybody in the NFL. Period. He just can't. He is an impassionate guy at the pro level. He cannot succeed at this level. Why you would give him 4 years to be a putz on our sideline at such an expensive rate is beyond me. I don't know dick about coaching the football, but if you want to pay somebody bare minimum, give me the motherfucking job. I'll fucking do it. I'll show up at 5 a.m., meet up with some people, and we'll come up with some game plan, and fuck it, we're going to lose anyways, right? Might as well help out the little guy. Let me fucking work for the head coaching position up there. And I bet you I'll get the same results. I can lose 3 in a row and probably win 1 and get lucky. And who do I send my bill to? I bet my friend fucking lunch. And now I'm asked out at lunch. Because we got an incompetent front office and we got an incompetent head coach. We don't have incompetent players. I refuse to look at this group of men and be like, they're terrible. I mean, some might be better than others. I will specifically say that. But I refuse to look at, except for Kaepernick. I think he's fucking terrible. But everybody else, you know, it's all heart. It's all heart. Everybody on that squad, man. I love to see them just go out there and participate and be just fierce. I don't even think it's anything about the game, really. I mean, there's nothing really much you can say about the game. The game was there. The game was close. Second half coaching just didn't do anything. You can't do anything when you have such shitty coach. Like, I don't know how you blow a 14-0 lead. I really don't, and that's all poor coaching. That in my opinion, that's poor coaching. When you're up 14-0 and then can only score 3 points, that's just poor coaching. You don't prep enough in between the week, and then you go into a shortened week now against Arizona, who I believe got smoked. Well, actually, they lost today, so they're 1-3 as well. And we have a short season in the game against them, and they're 1-3 as well. So, by the way I look at it, as much as I want my Niners to actually win, I mean, I think they're going to get fucking creamed in Arizona. Or I think Arizona comes up to them, I believe. I'm not sure. But either way, that's who they play next on Thursday. And the Niners seem to be the team. Like, I came here last week, and I came here actually like the week to start saying that this Dallas game was going to be a freebie. And it looked to be the other way around. This game was a freebie, but it was a freebie for Dallas. Oh, what the fuck? What happened here? Why am I? Oh, there we go. Then everything turns off. I'm sorry. And it looks like Arizona might have a freebie. I'm sorry. Like, I hate to say it because I love my squad, man. I love my team so much. Like, but I think it's going to be a freebie. I think this is going to be the wake-up game for Arizona where they come and they've lost. I think now it's 2 straight. They lost 2 straight. They're coming in hungry. That team is too good, too well put together, and too well coached to lose against Chip Kelly. I'm sorry, man. Chip Kelly is trash. He's complete and utter trash. But I'm proud of my boys, man. They try to put up a fight. It doesn't work sometimes, man. It's just when your coach has no fucking passion whatsoever, when you do something wrong and he just looks at you like, you did something wrong. That's a fucking look that every time they showcase him, he has that stupid ass look. He has the same dumb ass look Tamsula had, like, could have been better. Like Eeyore from fucking Winnie the Pooh and shit. Oh, I guess this didn't go right. It's like, no, that's the type of look you expect to get from your father after you fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't expect that lack of fucking passion from a head coach on a football team when you got a bunch of passionate men who are out there putting their livelihoods on the line. Like, this game is a violent game. And how you guys, I guess you fucked up. Oh, well. Like, I'm not expecting this dude to be like Harbaugh crazy, man. But Harbaugh had the passion, and his players respected that. Even with the bullshit that was going on in Harbaugh's last season, they managed to scrape out 8-8. You know, that team pretty much knew going into the season that was going to be Harbaugh's last season. They knew it. And like, that whole time it was just fire. Like, you know, like, yeah, things happened, but they finished 8-8. Still, 8-8 for all the turmoil that was happening that season. Like, yeah, that's because that's good coaching right there. You try to push through the bullshit and you fight through it, and you win some, you lose some. But that was all passion. None of that. I'm over here ranting, and this video is probably too long for anybody else to watch. I'm just gonna start ranting and shit. Like, this is the other thing and I wasn't going to address this, and now it's starting to bug me with all the losing and everything. And this is part of why I say the coaching that Chip Kelly is doing is terrible. We've played Seattle. We've played Dallas. We played Carolina, and we played the Rams. The whole kneeling during the national anthem. Look, I get it. As a minority, I get that we want to protest certain things. I understand it completely. We live in this country. We have that right. We have that freedom. Kaepernick does as well. The one thing why I find Kaepernick's thing so disingenuous is because, one, when he was a hot shit, when he was this guy filming McDonald's commercials, doing EA commercials, doing all these other commercials, being in the spotlight, the cover of ESPN, the magazine, where the fuck was all this? Where was the kneeling? Where was the protest? Where was any of this from him? When he was the talk of the town, where was any of this? The killing of innocent minorities in this country is nothing new. I've been alive on this earth 33 years. The innocent killing of minorities in this nation, from a perspective of when we're supposed to be considered equal, had been going on for 20 years before that. The killing of minorities as a whole, especially black men and women and children in this country, has been happening in this fucking country since it's been created. Since the U.S. broke away from England to become the United States of America, that shit has been going on. And now all of a sudden that Kaepernick is, nobody's talking about the has-been. All of a sudden he has to be the first one to protest. That's so fucking disingenuous. And I get it. Like, people can like, oh, you're a fucking hypocrite. You come on YouTube. Where the hell is all this stuff when you're talking? Like, look, man. Like, I like to talk about football. I like to talk about sports. I like to talk about video games. That's what I like to do. I like to break from reality. And sometimes when I get super angry, this is why you're going to hear this now. It pops up. And it makes me not necessarily angry that this is our lives. That we have to actually fear. Like, look, man. I live in a better neighborhood now than I grew up in youth, and I'm blessed. I'm in a way, I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, like, there's always that thing in the back of my head where if I get pulled over as a Latino, like, if I make one wrong twitch, my life can be over. And that's just fucking crazy. I had a close experience with that, like 4 years ago. I had my son in the car, and literally, like, what you see on the news and you see on cell phone cameras now is like literally what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in a borrowed car, not knowing where the registration is. I have my hands on the wheel, and I tell the cop specifically, I have to reach in the back seat because this is not my car and I can't find the registration in the front. Let me reach in the back. Are we good? Are we clear? No response. I put my hand behind. I start turning back, and all you fuckers, whoa, 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 whoa! I'm like, dude, I need to find the registration. And both of them, with my son next to me, have their hands on their hip, ready to fucking pull on me. After I clearly stated what I was gonna do. Like, that's the type of shit we have to deal with. Not just me as a Latino, but every Latino, every African American, anybody who is not white in this country has to deal with that shit. Unless you live in a really fucking shitty neighborhood where everybody is suspect. If you're not, you're considered the shitty part of a good neighborhood. If you're African American, Latino, Puerto Rican, Cuban, fucking Muslims, Middle Eastern, like, it doesn't matter. We're considered the shitty part of a good neighborhood if we live there. And we have to be careful about that. That's just the reality of our lives. So that's why I find Kaepernick just so disingenuous that all of a sudden this guy wants to do this stuff. And in doing so, he creates separation. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but today's game especially, you see the Cowboys on the other side. Not all of them have their hands over their heart. Not all of them are looking at the stars and stripes. You know what I'm saying? But you know what they are doing? They're lined up as a team, united. You know what I mean? Ready to go into this game as a team. What do you see on the other side? You see half the team standing up. You see 3 people in the front, Kaepernick being one of them, Eric Reed being another one, in the front kneeling. And then you have 2 more in the back, who is Bethea, and I can't remember who else back there, standing up with their hands in their fist. Now, again, all those men right there are within their rights to actually do it. That's their right. I'm not saying that they can't or they shouldn't. But in you doing this, what you need to do is at least be with your team as you do this. How about as you, the organizer of said protest, go to your team, be like, look, bros, look, man, look, whatever, however you want to address your team. Be like, this is how I feel. And this is what I'm going to do during the national anthem. I hope you understand. I hope we can still be teammates. I hope, you know what I'm saying? But when we stand together, I'll be right there next to you, ready to go to battle, ready to play this game with you, addressing a real life issue alongside you, but I'll be on my knees. Boom. All of a sudden, yeah, there's team unity. There's team chemistry. Even though you want to do something different, address it that way and make sure it gets presented that way. But you see Dallas, all of them are doing different things, but they're standing together, side by side. Seattle last week, Seattle's been doing this since the start of the season, interlocking together. Because you know what happened? There was talks of somebody in Seattle doing the same thing, kneeling down or doing the fist. And the coaching staff and maybe even ownership going to say, hey, guys, we understand this is an issue. You know what I'm saying? The NFL is played by a lot of minorities. We understand this is a serious issue in real life. But we can't have this whole division. We'll stand together. All of us linking arms as a team. And that's what they did. We don't do that shit. And nobody, I'm not saying Chip should go up to Kaepernick and be like, hey, you need to stop doing that shit. Or even the front office to be like, hey, you can't do that. No. Fine, let them do it. It's the right to do it. But you gotta find a way to make that a team, like a team statement, a team, like a team event, a team pregame, like warm up, fucking a ritual. Like, you have to do that. As it is now, this team is so just separated by everything, by a bad front, damn it, I can't even talk right now. A bad front office, a terrible head coach, and separation amongst the teams before the team even takes the field. How do you expect a team like that to succeed? How do you expect that to happen? It doesn't happen. You can't do that. You have to be united. It has to be uniformed. That's why I find his whole statement to be disingenuous. And I think it needs to be addressed at this point. Even if Chip Kelly came out and said it's not a distraction, it is a distraction. It is a distraction. If you looked at the pregame show, if you looked at the national anthem as they were showing Kaepernick on his knees, if you look to his left, and I can't remember who was there, and I wish I would have got his name or his jersey number, so at least I can say his jersey number. But if you looked at his teammate who was right there, basically the last man standing at the end of the line, like the last man standing, Kaepernick's on his knees, and this dude, he's right there with his hands hard looking, and he's looking down at Kaepernick like, like he gives him that look like, what the fuck are you doing? You're not with the team. You're out there doing your own thing. And again, I'm not trying to take away anything. It's well within his rights, and I completely understand where he's coming from. It's a fact of life that us as minorities have had to deal with. From the minute you were born into a fucked situation. Because it doesn't matter if you're adopted by white parents. It doesn't matter if you're rich. It doesn't matter what you are. It doesn't even matter if you're president of the United States. And anybody who's blind to that political injustice that's going on now with the black president, you're just blind. But even if you reach the highest office in this nation of president of the United States, you are still just a black man. You are judged solely by the color of your skin. And that's just how it is, unfortunately. We are fucked from the minute we are born. Now, I'm not asking my white brothers and sisters to come and fight this fight with us, because it's not one of your fights. I just need y'all to understand. I need y'all to understand where we're coming from. Why we're so angry half the time. Why sometimes we don't talk and sometimes we do. And it isn't about, this guy's a thug and this guy's this. No, it's nothing about that. It has nothing to do with any of that. Just we're angry because this is the life we are given. It doesn't matter how successful we become in life. We are judged first by those who want to judge us and those who want to make our lives miserable based on the color of our skin. A black man in this country can go to jail for 20 years over allegations of rape with no proof and being found guilty. Where a white man or child, however you want to define these in between 18 and 22-year-olds, can actually be found guilty of rape, caught in the act of rape, sent to jail for 6 months, and then put out back on the streets in 3 months for good behavior. All the while, we got young, black, talented men who can go out and play sports, football, baseball, basketball, whatever. Latinos with the same thing. Be accused of rape, have no proof that the rape even happened, be found guilty by a jury of his peers, and have his life fucking wrecked. With no type of fucking second thought of like, how is this going to mess up this young man's life? You know why? Because in the system, we're just a number. In the system, all we are is a fucking rotating door to fucking prison. Because once you put us in, our life is so fucked up that we have no choice but to keep doing the same illegal shit. Or even just start doing illegal shit just to get by. We're not all drug dealers. We're not all hustlers. We're not all pimps. All we want to do is fucking work and be successful like everybody else in this country. That's all we want to do. That's our life. But when the minute our lives get fucked up, what are we supposed to do? Being black, brown, Middle Eastern, I'm gonna throw them in there with us because now they have that stigma too here. Being any other color but white in this nation with a jail record, you can't even get fucking hired at McDonald's. The fuck are we supposed to do then? What are we supposed to do? We have no choice but to turn to the hustle. We have no choice but to smuggle drugs and rob people and steal cars. It's either that or go hungry. You know what I mean? But sometimes you get led into that life. You get led into that path by being completely innocent and falsely accused because your life is fucked at that point. Now, that's not to say that there is no second chances. Yes, there are men who can go in and find that one decent person who's willing to just give them a chance. Who says, you know what? I'll give you a job and just become successful. But those are not the normal stories. Those are not how those stories go. Those are the exceptions. Those lucky exceptions are very fortunate men or women who get those chances. But that's not the norm. And that's what everybody needs to understand, why this is actually going on. And I'm sorry I went on a tirade and stuff, but like I said, everything bugged me. I think part of it is just you see why men take these calls and why we don't like to talk about it, because all of a sudden it doesn't become about football, doesn't become about anything else. And I'm sorry, guys. I know this is supposed to be all football talk and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes key things just trigger key moments. And even though they seem, you know, they tend to be unrelated. Sports and media kind of relates them all. To the point where, you know, sometimes things just have to be talked about. And I had no other easy way to get people to watch a Latino speak on something like this without it being about football first. But if you have any other questions, man, I apologize for anything else. Yeah, we can talk football. We can talk political stuff if you guys like. But yeah, so the Niners lose. They have a short week. They play Thursday, I believe, in Santa Clara. Let me look really quick. Yes, they play Thursday, Santa Clara, 5:30. It's a short week, and then they're probably gonna go get killed by the Bills 10 days later. And I believe after that, well, they had the Buccaneers, and then they're off the weekend of Halloween, and then they're gonna go get killed by the Saints. Even though the team's terrible, they can put up points. And they play the Cardinals at the Cardinals, and there's no other free games for the Niners up until the Bears, which is the first week of December. So by the end of all this, we can be 1-4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We can be 1-10 by the start of December. And probably end 2-14 by the time this season is over, because I have no faith in fucking Chip Kelly. But anyways, sorry about the tirade, the rants, and everything else. It's shit gets frustrating, and sometimes the unrelated becomes related, just even in just one person's mind. I'm saying this is Mr. KB. Thank you guys for watching. I do apologize for just spewing stuff. I swear next week will be all about football, I promise. All right, guys. Take it easy. Much love. Nothing but love. Respect each other. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.